Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of lifestyle videos, a lot of vlogs, but I also have been trying to do some more reset type things. This is where I'm going to talk about my budget for October. This is where I'm going to go through some of my goals as well. So like what went on in September, what my plans are for October. It is the 19th, so there's still like 10-ish days left of the month at this point. So like things could change, but I wanted to go through these things, get this filmed for you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe if you like vlogs, motherhood, talking openly about money, that kind of stuff, because I do 2 videos a week and then I will put up shorts here and there as well. I think we'll go through my goals first. Also, don't mind all the stickers on my computer. It's just something I enjoy doing. So I'm gonna go over what my goals looked like for September and how those went so far, and if I'm on track to finish them out by the end of the month. And then we'll also go through what my October goals are, and then when we're done with that, I'll take you through my budget. I will say in one of my last budgeting videos, I can link that here, I got a lot of good debate going in the comments, and I know that I think pretty much everybody that left a comment meant well, and nobody was coming necessarily from a judgmental place, and I totally get where people were coming from. Just a reminder that I'm not like a strict budgeter. I used to be. I'm not anymore. We might have to become more strict pretty soon, but I kind of make my budget as like a place to follow loosely. I would like to follow it a little bit tighter sometimes, but we have the privilege to be a little bit loose with it sometimes. And also in August, we found out we needed to move because of toxic mold in our previous rental, and now we're moved into this new place. We had to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff, hence the new couch, if you haven't seen those vlogs yet. So like there was a lot of unexpected things that came up that we had to spend money on that I was not anticipating. Plus, to be honest, the stress of that, like some little shopping habits kicked in, some little overeating, getting food out habits kicked in, and that's just like what happened, and that's just real life for me. Some people are really good at being like super strict. I feel like when I get stressed, I go the opposite way, and I can be a little bit more like spendy, eating a lot. Like I'm more impulsive. If you can't tell, impulsive. I cut my hair. So that's what's going on there, but we'll talk about that once we get into the budget, what I'm planning October to look like, because I'm hoping that October will be a lower spend month in general. Okay, here's my goals. This is my little brain dump thing. I can link the channel where I found this like free Notion template, because I am not a Notion girly. I also, if you ever want my budgeting template that I use in Google, it's in Google Sheets, just email me. I'll leave the email down below in the description box as well, and I will give that to you for free. So September, I always do 3 categories. So health and healing, work and money, home and family. Those are kind of the 3 buckets that I do for my like monthly goals. I don't set insane goals. I try to set goals that I can actually reach and are things that I actually care about, versus, you know, things that I can't control, like make $1 million in 1 month randomly, you know? So for September, let's see how I did. I said get back into Pilates. I have done that. I've used all 4 of my credits this month. I probably will be canceling Pilates in the next few months, just because like as I get bigger, I don't know that that's going to be the most comfortable workout for me, but for now I'm loving it. 2 to 3 workouts a week, no. With moving, if you count moving, yes, way more than 2 to 3 workouts. But as far as like a structured workout, I've really only done Pilates 1 day a week. So that's only 1 workout, so I'm not gonna check that one. Less to no Coke. I've done much better on this. For most of the month, I drink no Coke. Coca-Cola is like kryptonite to me, if you guys didn't know, especially when I'm pregnant. Something about the bubbles and the cold, you know. But I have drank a lot less of it. I actually just had like my first Coke the other day, I think. So I've probably only had like 2 this month, which is much better than when I was drinking like 1 a day or 1 every other day. Moving on to work and money, I put 3 blogs a week. Technically, I did not do this because I only did 2 blogs this week, because that's all that my client gave me. So I technically didn't do this one. 1 TikTok a day. I've done this fairly closely. It probably hasn't been every day, but there's been a couple of days where I have done more than 1, like in a day. So I'm gonna count that one. get ahead on YouTube videos. I have been doing this one. I am filming this one on a Thursday, and this is for next Wednesday. So I was much more ahead when I was moving, and now I'm like trying to catch up after taking some time off for moving. And then 3 YouTube shorts a week. I have been doing that. If you haven't seen those, they're up. A lot of them are the same as my TikTok, so if you follow me on TikTok, they're the same. Home and family, I put move in the least stressful way possible. I feel like we have done this. And get ready for the baby sprinkle. For the most part, I have done this. Our baby sprinkle is a week from Saturday, which wasn't intentional. I didn't intentionally set it. I had already sent the invites when we found out that we had to move because of mold. So I think next week will be a big week for that. I need to figure out food and like buy all the stuff for that I'm gonna make. And then I have like a couple more things I want to get like decor wise, but for the most part decor is done. I'm just like not gonna go crazy with it. So we'll see how that goes. So that is how September went. So for October, those 3 categories again, health and healing, I have less food out, 2 to 3 workouts a week, and meal prep 1 to 2 times weekly. I have been meal prepping this last week, like since Saturday of this week, and it has been so helpful. I've eaten healthier, I've eaten out less. So I want to do that 1 to 2 times weekly because it's really helpful for me. Work and money, I would like to get back up to 3 blogs a week if my client has those, 1 TikTok a day, and have a lower spend month on things like food out, housewares, etc. So I would really like to focus on that in October. I'm not gonna be like insanely strict. And obviously you just like never know when things are gonna come up. We had no idea we were gonna have to move within a couple weeks and like buy all new stuff and all that jazz. So I'm not gonna be hard on myself about it, but I would like to be better. Like I don't wanna be getting a coffee out every week. I bought an espresso pod, so I should be good now. To get them like occasionally is still fine. To eat out less, to try to actually stick to our budget this month would be helpful. And I've also just bought a lot of stuff for this new house, whether it was like organizational things, Costco trips, a new couch, like all of that stuff. So I just want to be done with that in September, you know, because November, December will probably be a little bit more spendy with like having to get stuff for baby. Anyway, we'll get there in a different video when we're actually there. October, I would like to be better about that stuff. And then home and family, I put girls trip to Madison. Myself, my sister-in-law Elizabeth, and Ivy are going to drive to Madison to visit my sister-in-law and brother-in-law that live there. We have not been to Wisconsin except for 1 time last year before Ben started having some health issues. He still doesn't feel comfortable driving that far, but like I'm tired of staying in one place, especially in Illinois. And I don't love Illinois. Sounds like there's a truck backing up, and I'm hoping that they don't make the dogs bark. Another thing that we would like to do is go to Gobert's family farm or something around here. We went last year. I went with Elizabeth, her boyfriend, and Ivy, but this year we'd like to go and bring Ben as well. Spend time doing walks outside before it gets too cold, like taking advantage of the fact that it's not freezing yet. And then get the house fully finished if it's not done in September. I would prefer for it to be done before October starts, but I just want it to be done, you know? I just like don't like living in the in-between. So those are my goals. Okay, now moving on to my October budget and what I'm expecting for the month of October. I think also in these reset videos, if I have like monthly favorites or books or things like that I'm reading, I can let you guys know. It's just been like such a cluster over here that I honestly don't have anything put together. But if you have any other ideas that you would like to see for a reset type video, let me know. As always, I block out our exact income, though you can figure it out if you really wanted to. So my income is actually going to be pretty low in October because I had to take 2 weeks off in September, plus I didn't get as many blogs as I was hoping for. So like the weeks that I started working again, my income's a little bit lower. Ben's income will be normal, and our Beacon payment will be normal through the end of the year. Not intending on having any rollover. Anything that we do have in September will go to savings. I'm not expecting any like gifts or anything. Moving on to this section, $2,700, our rent did go up $200 a month, which is spectacular. All of these are the same. Yeah, these are the 2 things that like beginning of next year might end up having to go away. One, because I can't really do Pilates toward the end, I don't think, because I get like ginormous and it's just like not comfortable. And Ben's football money, he's just gonna have to figure out where it comes from somewhere else, because we will have less income due to, I think this payment ends in like January or February. So those things will go away, but for right now we're still doing them. Everything else is the same. I did up my miscellaneous a little bit. This just covers if I go and work at a coffee shop, which I will probably be doing most months. This payment is also going to change for Canva, but I'm not sure how much it's going to be yet. So when that changes, I'll update it. It should only be a couple of dollars. In total, I'm expecting to spend about $3,500 in fixed expenses, most of that being rent. Moving on to debt, this is always the same. Currently, we are not putting any money toward debt because of all this stuff that happened with like having to move and our like savings being just like demolished because of this move. The money that we were gonna put toward paying off one of our debts is not there anymore. So we'll see what happens at the beginning of the year, how we're feeling as far as like money goes, and maybe we'll pay off one of our debts, but right now we just need to work on re-upping our savings. This is fairly similar if you've seen my budgets before. We do spend a lot on groceries. That is just what we do. We prefer to put money into our groceries and get higher quality stuff. So that's just a preference that we have, and that's, you know, what we go with. $2.50 for Costco. I did lower this a little bit because quite honestly, we don't have room for a bunch of Costco stuff. So like, I'm just gonna be honest, like Benjamin needs to chill because he's the one that loves Costco. Restaurants and takeout, I would like to actually stick to that this month. Medications and supplements, I don't know if that'll be a little bit higher because Ben is going to be doing some like mold stuff. That might end up being higher, and that'll just have to come out of different places in our budget. Household I have at 800, which these two might end up being where some of that wiggle room comes from. 200 for beauty, 100 for personal spending. We can also pull from that for medications and supplements if necessary, because I don't think there's anything like personally that we need to buy next month. Doctors I did lower because we hopefully will not be going to the doctor as much next month, where we're actually like paying for it. Utilities I kept a little bit high because we're still like, we might be charged for things from the other house because we technically have a lease through the 20th of September, so that might come out in October. 150 for car, Cora and Finn at 250, those are our dogs, and then miscellaneous I always just keep 100 there. We don't have any birthdays, holidays, anything like that in October. A very small amount for savings. That was just however much I had left over that I didn't have to zero out my budget. This unfortunately is going to be what our budgets look like moving forward now that we have a higher income. It's another big reason that we aren't sure that we can stay. I mean, as much as we don't want to stay in Illinois long term anyway, we can't afford to stay in Illinois long term when it comes to the price of houses, like to rent or buy. It's just literally insane. Taxes, I'm planning to put $315 away, and then none of these other things come out. So planning to spend the full amount. That is how I zeroed out my budget this month. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you liked seeing what we're getting up to in the month of October. I honestly cannot believe that it's almost October. It's like crazy to me. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.